Welcome to the 2010 Revit Ribbon Tips and Tricks video. My name is Harlan Brum. I'm the Global Technical Lead for Revit Architecture with our product support team, and I'll be your host today. In this video, I'll demonstrate some features and functionality of the new Revit 2010 user interface, and I'll also provide some useful tips and tricks to make your adjustment to the new user interface a little bit easier. In this section of the video, I'll talk about the basic elements of the new 2010 Revit user interface. I'll talk about new functionality that allows these new components to remember their location from session to session. And finally, I'll talk about tools within the new UI that make your transition from an earlier version of Revit a little bit easier. When you first launch Revit 2010 products, you're greeted with the Recent Files page. The Recent Files page gives you quick access to recently used projects, allows you to open existing projects, start new projects right from the menu. You can also access recently used families, as well as open existing families to work on them, create a new family from a template, or even create a new conceptual mass. Also, the Recent File page gives you access to the web library, which when clicked on, brings you to Autodesk Seek, where you can search for additional content on the web to further document your projects. Overall, the Recent Files page has been improved from previous versions to make it easier to navigate through the system. We also have links to Autodesk.com and to the Revit homepage for product information. When you start a new project in Revit 2010 products, you're immediately greeted with the new user interface. Starting in the upper left-hand corner, we have the application menu, which contains file access functions like creating a new project, opening a new project or family, saving, save as, exporting to DWG and other formats, publishing to DWF to Buzzsaw, DWG to Buzzsaw, or sharing your project with Autodesk Seek, printing, and licensing. We also have the options dialog accessible off of the application menu. Then next to the application menu, we have the quick access toolbar, which allows quick access to commonly used tools and functions in the product. This toolbar is customizable, and you can add any button to the quick access toolbar by right-clicking on it and clicking the Add to Quick Access Toolbar icon. You can add as many icons as you like. As you start to run out of space, you'll receive a double arrow which allows you to click on it and scroll down to additional tools that you've added. Moving across the top, we have the Revit product name that you're currently in and the project name that you're currently using on the application title bar. Then to the right, we have the Information Center, which includes a search box to search the help file on Autodesk.com, a Subscription Center link, which allows you to enroll to become a member of Subscription Center or log into your account so you can get access to e-learning support requests with Autodesk support and other functions. We have the Communication Center to keep you up to date on product updates and announcements. A Favorites pane so you can add favorites from either the help file or Autodesk.com or solutions or anything that you like within the Information Center. And finally, we have an access to the help file. This drop-down contains a number of useful user interface tools to help you. First, we have the user interface overview, which includes a short overview of the user interface. And then we have Where's My Command. Where's My Command is designed to help you navigate through the new UI and transition from an earlier version of product by giving you access to where old commands used to be. So if you were something in the View design bar in previous versions, like Plan Region, you can see where it's located now. Under the View tab, Create Panel, Panel Views drop-down, Plan Region, and this is the new current icon. Then we have the ribbon, which takes up a large portion of the user interface. The ribbon includes a number of different tabs. The Add-ins tab will only appear if you have an add-in currently installed, like the Worksharing Monitor or the Navisworks 2010 plugin. If you'd like to reduce your screen real estate a little bit with the ribbon, you can right-click in the gray area and uncheck the box for Show Panel Titles. This will give you a little bit of additional space. Then we have the project browser as it exists in earlier versions of Revit. We have the view control bar, which hasn't changed very much, although some of the iconography has changed as well. And then we have the space navigator, which allows you access to the pan and zoom functions quickly at your fingertips. We still have the options bar in Revit 2010, and at the moment I have it docked at the bottom of my screen. You can right-click on the options bar and dock at the top to go back to its original location. When you click on a tool, the options bar will become active with the tools that are available, and you'll get a contextual tab that displays those items, both for placing objects and when you click on an object to modify it, you'll get access to all the commonly used tools to modify that object. Another great new feature of the Revit 2010 family of products is the ability for key components to remember their locations from session to session. The project browser will now remember where you've placed it on your screen in each session of Revit. You can dock the project browser at the bottom of the screen or at the top, and it will still remember its location. You can also drag the project browser onto a second monitor for multi-monitor support to free up additional screen real estate. Panels on the ribbon also have a very similar feature. They can be torn off and placed anywhere on your screen in order to better fit your workflow. Or if you have a panel that's a commonly used group of tools, you can pull off that panel and place it on a second monitor, and it will remember its location from session to session. Panels can be returned to the ribbon by clicking on the arrow in the upper right hand corner of the panel, and it will return to its previous position. In this section of the video, I'm going to cover some of the tips and tricks that will improve your experience with the new UI for the Revit 2010 products. We'll talk about how you can reset your user interface to the standard out-of-the-box version. We'll talk about how you can increase ribbon performance in the Revit 2010 products. We'll talk about the Quick Access Toolbar and how you can understand its feature to get the most out of the tool. We'll also talk about some things on your individual computer that you need to make sure are set up correctly in order to get the most out of the 2010 Revit products. Because the Revit 2010 family of products have a customizable interface, you may experience the need to reset that interface to the out-of-the-box standard version. You can go up to the search box and search for Reset the Ribbon to show available help topics and solutions for resetting the Revit Architecture 2010 user interface. That solution will bring you to our knowledge-based search, which gives you an up-to-date version of how to reset your user interface. We can actually do that for you using this script file that you can download and run on your machine. To run this script, you first need to close Revit Architecture 2010. Once Revit Architecture is closed, then you can click on the script. When you're prompted what you want to do with that file, you can click Open and Run. You'll be prompted with a warning that says you're about to reset your Revit user interface and that you need to run this script with administrator privileges. If you are an admin, click Yes to continue. Now, the script will reset your ribbon and your Quick Access Toolbar, and it asks if you'd like to continue. This script will give you the option to create a backup of your existing user interface. If you select Yes, you'll rename your existing user interface file with today's date and time, just in case you needed to go back to that version later. It will rename the file and tells you which file is being renamed, the uistate.dat file. And then it'll tell you when it has successfully occurred. It will also give you the option to reset the location of your project browser. If you wish to continue, click Yes. It will delete a registry key on your machine that contains the project browser information. When it's completed, it will tell you that it has successfully been completed and that the script has run successfully. When that's completed, you can relaunch Revit Architecture 2010 When Revit launches, you'll see that the Quick Access Toolbar, Ribbon, and Project Browser have all been reset to their default out-of-the-box location. Instead of using the script file, the same solution contains steps on how you can reset the UI manually by deleting or renaming the uistate.dit file on your version of Windows, and deleting or renaming the registry key that contains the project browser information. Separate solutions also exist for Revit Structure and Revit MEP 2010. Customers have been wondering a lot about the performance of switching between ribbon tabs in the Revit 2010 user interface. Each time you select a tab, that ribbon is loaded into memory. In order to speed up performance, you can simply click on each tab so that it loads into memory once. In each sequence selection, the loading of that ribbon will be much faster. I'm using the scroll wheel to scroll through the available ribbons in Revit 2010. The Quick Access Toolbar is a great new tool in the Revit 2010 family of products that allows for quick access to commonly used tools. You can add any tool that you wish that appears on a ribbon to the Quick Access Toolbar. Right-click on that tool and use the right-click menu, Add to Quick Access Toolbar, to add that button to the Quick Access Toolbar. One thing that might confuse you a little bit is there are different Quick Access Toolbars for different environments within Revit 2010 products. Switching to a family will change the Quick Access Toolbar to the family environment. Overall, there are project, family, conceptual mask, title block, and annotation symbol environments, which all can be customized to have a different quick access toolbar to allow for commonly used tools in those environments to appear when needed. There are some things you need to know about your environment in order to use the 2010 family of products. First, Internet Explorer 8 at this time is currently not a supported environment. If you're using Internet Explorer 8 with Revit 2010 products, you may experience problems launching or crashing. If that's the case, roll back to an Internet Explorer 7 version or 6, and that problem will no longer occur. Another item that you should be aware of with the Revit 2010 family of products is that display management software can sometimes conflict with the functionality in the ribbon. You should disable any display management software like the NView display management tool on NVIDIA graphics cards in order to fully use the functionality of the Revit 2010 family of products. In closing, during this video, I provided an overview of the key components of the new user interface for the 2010 Revit products. I showed a number of tools within the new version of Revit to help you transition from an earlier version of Revit to Revit 2010 products. And finally, I showed some tips and tricks to improve your experience with the new user interface. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it useful.